Attention all basketball fans. CMG Sports presents the Posting Up Podcast, where Lucas Boldick, Sean Scanlon, and King Zay discuss the latest news and topics throughout the NBA. So, if you have a love for basketball, make sure you check out the Posting Up Podcast, live every Tuesday and Saturday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Also available for download on every podcast platform.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement that you don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? And how often do you think about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies, doing the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident with your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website or give us a call at 860-430-5397.
The Giants are running New York like the Times as Danny is dropping all sorts of dimes. Saquon's thighs are ruining defenses' lives and Leonard Williams making opposing QBs feel him. Receivers think it's scary to line up across James Bradbury, and the Giants have a bright future led by Coach Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Tune in to Drawing About the GMen every Wednesday at 6, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drawing About the G-Men, the Giants football podcast. I'm Big Jace, joined by Joe Guire, Sean Scanlon, and King Zay. And every week, that intro, even though it was me, it got me hyped up. But it just doesn't anymore. It gets me depressed more than anything, especially after last week. Giants, terrible loss to the Dolphins, 20-9. I just don't get it. I mean, they look terrible. Obviously, Mike Glennon, he's in the game. You understand you had Mike Glennon. I don't know why he's dropping back 44 times to throw the football. I don't get it. It isn't like the game was out of reach the whole time. It was a one-touchdown game most of the game. I don't know why you're forcing the pass so much. Yeah, I think they should have handed it off to Barkley a little bit more, try to get the run game going. But, I mean, it's ridiculous. I try really hard to be the Giants optimist on this show, but it is just getting so hard week after week, especially after this. I guess that they had Mike Glennon as the quarterback. I guess that could be the excuse I have, but it's just hard week after week. I just don't know anymore. It's just frustrating. Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, why? Yeah, here's the difference between you and I. You thought somehow the Giants, by getting rid of Jason Garrett, all the other problems that we knew full well existed and still do, that they were going to go away. And you compound the fact that Daniel Jones is hurt again. You got Mike Glennon, who, all jokes aside, guys, he sucks. I mean, he can throw the football. I mean, he got off to a decent start, but Jace, like you said, if they thought 44 attempts by Mike Glennon was the way to beat the Dolphins, there's your proof it's not 20-9. I don't know. This Giants team, for a team that's got a number 2 overall pick generational talent, why are you not just feeding this guy the ball, throwing this guy the ball? I mean, you open things up that way. Mike Glennon could connect on short passes early, like that was fine. But again, this team needs to be able to sustain and it can't ever. It's stunning. It really is. Here's the other thing, and this cracks me up. Do you have the tweet from Joe Judge? I think I actually didn't. I think I just emailed it to myself. I meant to send it to you. So let me try that again, and then you could pop this up. But I mean, it's a tweet from Ralph Vacciacchino there from SNY, whatever his name is. I don't really care. Asked why he's encouraged by an offense that scored 9 points and total 250 yards. Giants coach Joe Judge says this: I saw a lot of players make a lot of big plays. What game were you watching? What are you talking about? What? I mean, good God in heaven, what is this guy talking about? Who were the players that made big plays? What is Joe Judge talking about? Now, he was asked, and so he then came and he was like, I'm not going to throw my players under the bus. No, you're going to sound like a delusional moron and say things that anybody with eyes could see was false. How do you believe in a coach and in a team when he says things that are blatantly stupid to the general public in the media of New York? This is an embarrassment. I mean, here's my favorite thing. There's a lot of Giants Facebook groups full of idiots. You think Jake Fromm's gonna do what? You know, he's like 5'8". I mean, he's like a midget. That's why he didn't make it in the NFL. You think that the fourth string quarterback on the Bills practice squad is the answer to this disaster? Really? Wow. Dude, the Giants are going to lose on Sunday. 100%. If I was Vegas, I wouldn't even offer odds on this game. There's no reason to.
Give it like a college spread, like 30.
Dude, you can do like 10,001. Why? The Giants cannot win this game on Sunday. There's no chance. I'll watch it. I'll be miserable every minute of the game. I enjoy it now. I'm used to it. Been doing this for almost my whole life.
Here we go with this again.
I'm not wrong, Zay. They suck, and they've been terrible.
This again.
Take those Super Bowls out. Tell me we're not the Detroit Lions.
No, we're the Washington Redskins or the Philadelphia Eagles or who else you want to put.
You're a young man, so you don't understand, but
I'm sure I do.
Growing up in the 70s into the 80s, I mean, the Giants were a joke. Like a 1-2 win team. It was a joke. Victory formation became a thing because the Giants couldn't even win a game in the 70s right. Kneel on the ball, win the game. Nope. This franchise is an embarrassment. I'm just being real here. You guys have to understand that. The Eli thing threw everybody for a loop. The defense was good. The Giants were very mediocre in the Eli days. We know this. Couple of great runs. That was it. Nothing sustained. 85-90. That's it. Otherwise, Loserville.
Again, you had a great run between 2006 and 2012. But again, if you want to go that way, you can do that if you want to, but whatever.
It was mediocre. It was mediocre.
Fun. 08, they were probably the best team in the NFL. After they won the Super Bowl, they're probably the best team in the NFL. So what are you saying? Mediocre.
For 10 games.
Plaxico Burress doesn't shoot himself. They probably win a Super Bowl again.
For 10
Plaxico
games.
Burress doesn't shoot himself. They win a Super Bowl again. I promise you that. I got to show you that.
10 games. And here's what a good organization does. It goes out and it gets a replacement. It finds somebody. Not the Giants.
What do you consider a good organization that goes out and replaces?
The Steelers. The Steelers, who made a Giants move this year, and they're like, all right, Big Ben, one more year. No, why?
Because they didn't find no one to replace him. because this team that
there
you put
was
on
plenty of people. They should have. That was the team that I thought should have gone and got Mac Jones. The Steelers would be in a much different position right now had they done that. But whatever. That's for a different show.
Any team you could say that for any team almost.
Maybe
you probably could. But listen, the Giants are wrong on most people more than they're right, and this has been going back. You know who Dave Brown is? You remember that name? That was the last Duke quarterback that we wasted a draft pick on. Kent Graham? You know who that is? Bad. They picked bad. Eric Flowers, bad. Will Hernandez, bad.
Eli Apple.
Yeah, in recent years, it's been
one.
bad. But that doesn't muck up their entire draft. As an organization, they've had pretty good drafts. You talk about players like Ahmad Bradshaw, they've gotten a 4th round, or players who have helped us get pushed forward to a championship. So they've made good picks. JPP wasn't a top 10 pick. He was somebody, again, that was little known when he was picked up. They've made good picks over the years. It's just sometimes picks don't pan out. And the situation you have now is this front office, especially the last few years, they're just not good at evaluating talent. But to put that on the entire franchise for the last couple of years, I don't want to go and do that. That's craziness. That'd be
after Ernie Corsi, though, it kind of went all downhill. Really, they got lucky with that 07 draft class that all contributed for that first Super Bowl, and then Jerry Reese. He was decent with his early round picks, but his mid round picks were awful. And then we finally got rid of him, and we've seen what Dave Gettleman has done with his draft. A bunch of injury prone players, a bunch of first round picks that haven't panned out. So, I mean, I kind of agree with Joe. The drafting the New York Giants has been great. There's been a couple huge hits. Obviously, Lawrence Taylor in the 80s, Eli Manning that came out and contributed. But for the most part, the Giants have been terrible at drafting.
They didn't even draft Eli. Yes. They got Eli in a trade. Again,
we can forget
because of Ernie Corsi.
Also, it was a trade orchestrated by Archie Manning.
It's easy to remember the big names and the little names you forget, the Steve Smiths, the Hakeem Nicks, other guys that we have drafted through the years who have helped contribute to championships. Forget what you want. Hakeem Nicks, he fell off a cliff, but he was a contributor, a big contributor to the championship.
He was huge in 2011,
Victor
but he could have been
big
a franchise
pick that we've done over the years that you guys seem to forget.
Victor Cruz was they should do a movie about Victor Cruz.
They should.
A 6th rounder out of UMass didn't even play his first year. Yeah. Give me a break.
Kurt Warner's getting a movie. They should do one about
Victor Cruz. And I was there, by the way, the night he blew out his knee and his career was over. That was the end of it, and it was the saddest day ever. I was literally.
It's all your fault, Joe.
I was at the link. I was in Philly watching the Giants from a luxury box.
That's the only way a Giants fan can watch the game in there. When Live, probably.
Oh, so. Yeah, no doubt. I walked out with an Eagles cap on and an Eagles hat on. There's a picture of me wearing it. That night, they actually stole a Vietnam veteran's leg who everybody knows him out there. He's sitting right outside the stadium. They stole his leg that night.
I can't erase this. Oh, God.
You need to know that. You need to know what's going on.
Let's get back to this Giants. I will say, it's Joe. I get where you're coming from, but it's very hard. I mean, it's very easy to when there is a dark, stormy cloud over your head to just think about all the bad. But
I've been watching this for 45 years. I mean, holy smokes!
To go back on.
They've had 5 good years in 45 years of watching. That's a thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams that haven't had 5 good years in 50 years. So I do the Giants.
Yes, and are you a fan of that team? That's a different podcast. Yes, go jump on that one and complain about it. I'm complaining about the team that I watch every friggin' Sunday, and I watch them find new ways to look pathetic and lose, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, but the real glaring problem here, but
you think the Giants could probably win this week?
No, I do. I mean, I think they can win every. I explained this to Steve Risser.
You should punch yourself in the face.
before Sports Talk with RJ today. I'm always going to pick them. They're my team. When I played football, I wouldn't go into a game thinking, okay, we're going to lose. It was always we're going to win. I see the Giants as my team. I think of myself as part of the team, and I don't see a way we lose.
If you're part of the team, then you are also failing.
I know. It sucks. It sucks, Joe.
Say it. Let your feelings out. You got to stop. You got to stop pretending that everything is fine, like Joe Judge. Because again, you look at that tweet and you're like, "Is this guy the dumbest person on the planet?" You have to at least pretend.
And I
so a lot of great players make a lot of big plays. No, you didn't. What game were you watching? Were you watching the Packers game? What was he looking at? What was that answer to?
No, yeah, it's tough.
We deserve better than a guy who's an idiot, and that's what he is.
I wouldn't say he's an idiot. I wouldn't say he's an idiot. I would say
evil
he's
genius,
confused, maybe
lulled the league into thinking the Giants are bad, so we can. Yeah, genius plan. I like it. Say, when does it start?
It kind of reminds me of that SpongeBob episode where he was supposed to just learn fine dining and breathing, and then they asked him his name, and inside his head everything was on fire and running around, but he was acting like it was normal on the outside. That's what I think of when I think of Joe Judge. Everything is on fire and going crazy on the inside, and he's just like, "Well, we're gonna be all right."
I mean, I don't want to defend Joe Judge, but
he must know that his job is secure.
I don't know. I mean, look, a couple weeks ago, he came out and he was harsh on the offense, and Jason Garrett turned around. They lay an egg. He comes out this week, maybe tries to bring him up, and they're most.
He's a real motivator, isn't he?
Yeah, it's hard. It sucks. This whole big sense after Coughlin, it's really, really hard because the Giants just haven't.
How many points have they scored since they got rid of Jason Garrett? Just out of curiosity.
9
and 13, 22.
22 points. So now we average 11 points a game instead of 18 points a game. Wow. Dude, this guy, he is sharp as a tack. Man, I don't know what the plan is. So now what? So the defense has to start keeping teams to what? Under 10 a game? Is that his plan? Because all right, let's see it.
Can we not beat up on the offensive coordinator? Because it's hard to put it on him when you lose your starting quarterback, and then you get this backup. You've never really, he doesn't have much time with the starter. He doesn't have much time with the backup, and again, he's being thrown somebody like Mike Glennon, who he probably didn't want. Coming into this, Mike Glennon was 2-17 in his last starts. Colt McCoy has 2 wins this year alone. It's the evaluation of the front office in general. The fact that they felt that Colt McCoy, was less talented or not as good as Mike Glennon, and they went with Mike Glennon, goes to show you what you have in the front office. When, again, I told you he was 2-17 coming. You can't make that up. You can't erase that. You can look it up in 2 seconds. I did it. It's not that hard. And for them to go and say, okay, cool, we'll bring him in and just let Colt McCoy go without a real answer for backup, it's baffling what's going on in this front office. There is no serious choice. They're not making serious decisions, it seems like. They're not making smart decisions. I feel the Giants are probably going to offer Saquon Barkley a contract or pick up his 5th-year option. I believe he has next year the 5th-year option. I believe they will. I don't think Barkley has it no more. He's good for one good run every couple of games. I'm sorry. You see one good run, he'll break off something and you'll never see it again.
But he's barely getting touches.
It's more than the line because Booker he's coming and he's looked pretty decent in times and flashes. He's looked more serviceable than Saquon Barkley. I watched that man go out there and drop how many passes last week?
How many passes is
he? I mean, what are we doing here, people? What are we doing with this team? We don't.
Well, again, what's the identity of this team? Is it Saquon Barkley with 11 carries and 9 targets, right? So 20 times to Barkley, or is this team is the identity built in 44 passes from Mike Glennon?
Or it's a field goal at the end of the game when the Giants are down.
What was the game plan going in? Like, hey, listen, Mike, I know you're not a good quarterback. Things have worked out. You're going to start. So here's the playbook. Go out and get them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Joe Judge is not a good motivator. Joe Judge doesn't seem to have a real good sense of reality. He doesn't seem to have a plan to get this team any better. His reaction was to get rid of Jason Garrett so that he could score 11 points a game instead of 19 points a game. I'm not sure I like where this is going.
No, there's definitely, with all the pieces the Giants have, they definitely should be better because, I mean, there's talent out on the field. And you got to go to Joe Judge or the front office. I mean, something's an issue. It's really – I saw the stat earlier today. The Giants' offense has 18 touchdowns this season. Jonathan Taylor himself has 18 touchdowns this season.
Right. Don't you think something is wrong?
Yes.
That the Giants have an inability to score touchdowns, and this isn't like a brand new thing. This is pretty much how Giants football's gone. That every Giants kicker, I could tick through every kicker from Ali Haji Sheik to Graham Gunnell. I mean, the Giants kicker is an important job. Everywhere else, it's not. Matt Barr is the reason that the Giants in 1990 went to a Super Bowl. Wouldn't have happened without him.
Lawrence Tynes
Was a beast.
Lawrence Tynes, yeah. You know the Giants kickers because the Giants kickers matter.
Yeah. And that's why every week when that's why my prediction, that's the only way they can win, it seems like, is a field goal battle. Because I can only trust Graham Gano to put points up on the board for the Giants. And it's ridiculous. Speaking of which, let's get into
it's funny, too, real quick. When the Giants get to the red zone, don't you notice how skittish the whole offense seems? It's like, I mean, they must, right? And I mean, we all played football. In practice, you literally do red zone offense.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole thing that you run. They get to the red zone, and it's like, do we have any plays that we can run down here? I don't know.
They don't want to score. It seems like they don't want to score.
It seems like they don't want to score.
It's so conservative. It's not even funny.
Who called the game? Was it Daryl Johnson that called the game this weekend? Am I right? Mm-hmm. Was saying that, and he said what I said a couple weeks ago. You've got nothing to lose. Yeah. 4th and 2, just go for it. You're probably gonna give up a touchdown anyway. Just go for it. Yeah. See what you can do. Like, for the love of God.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
That conservative play calling is, I mean, if that's the reason why at the end of the season, if Gettleman gets fired, Judge is going with him. If Judge does man up and he does make those calls, maybe Morrow will see something and be like, okay, maybe we can keep him around for another year. But no, he's going out now with Gettleman. But I want to get to this game.
Oh, great.
Listen, they need to. I understand Jake Fromm's there. I like Jake Fromm in college. I
like Doug Flutie in college too.
Yeah, but I think size
matters in the NFL.
It does, but I mean, also look at Drew Brees.
Jake Fromm's 6'2". Jesus, leave him alone.
Look at Kyler Murray.
I think you're thinking of Stetson Bennett.
Yeah,
6'2".
He's not 6'2".
Yes, he is. Jake Fromm
is not 6'2". No, dude, Jake Fromm is maybe he's 5'11". He's not 6'2".
Listen, the
Donald Trump's not 270 pounds either. You know what I mean? You can say whatever you want, and then that's fine. They'll list it in the program.
Listen, Jake Fromm, everything, I mean, all the positive and negatives you see and hear about this guy, especially going into the draft and coming out, they're the same as Mac Jones and Tom Brady. Like, this is a guy, very high football IQ when he was on the field of Florida. He was able to find it. He was very accurate. He didn't make any flashy plays. He was able to take care of the football, but he wasn't very mobile. I think.
Wait, what season was that?
I'm trying to figure out. So why are we picking him up off the streets?
Wait, tell me about that one game from 3 or 4 years ago. When was it?
2016.
He led Georgia to a national championship, only to lose to Tua. But he's in college. He was
he lost to Tua.
He never got a chance in the NFL because he was behind one of the best quarterbacks in the league, in Josh Allen. And I mean, if you look at Josh Allen and Jake Fromm, they're two completely different guys. One guy's a big talent. He's got all the –
one's a starter.
The big athletic guy.
Yeah.
No, but also you got a guy, strong arm, throw it down the field. He's got all the you can see he's just a big guy, that very athletic guy. Jake Fromm isn't like that. He's a smart game manager, and I think that's something that a Giants quarterback needs to be, and I think he can have himself – possibly a little bit of a game. I'm not picking him like a fantasy lock. I'm not going to say he's going to break out. But I do think there is something in there. There is something special in this guy. But I don't know if it's gone away. The years on the
a dozen other teams have needed a quarterback this year, and nobody called Jacob Fromm. Phone didn't ring.
Never had a chance.
Cam Newton literally got his old job back. Nobody called Jacob Fromm. Nobody was like, "Hey, get Frommy on the phone." That's the key to our success. This is going to be bad. Basically, it's like bringing a guy in off the street to be the quarterback and thinking that that's going to somehow work. And I appreciate that he's got a high football IQ. He's got a high football IQ in the body of a construction worker, basically, or an IT or whatever he's doing.
Dude, you're talking about
whatever
his
he's
body.
doing
You
in his
praise
real life.
Mac Jones week after week.
Mac Jones, like Tom Brady, is able to take his doughboy body and do some things.
Mac Jones,
Jacob Fromm can't do that. He's never gotten a chance. You've never seen him play. So how do you know he can't do that?
He played on national television in the SEC for Georgia, so
and they were damn good.
It's not like people haven't seen him. People saw him and they were like, "Eh."
No, I think there is something.
Tyler Heineke.
Wait, if it helps
playing. Who's the Lewicki guy that we had in the preseason?
Oh, Brian Lewicki?
Yeah.
He's still on the team.
You got to start in the preseason.
Damn, he's still on the team?
Why did nobody? Right? Why did nobody call Jacob Fromm at all? 32 teams. A dozen have had quarterbacks go out.
We're just talking about
one phone call until right now.
We're just talking about who needs to make a movie, and Kurt Warner's getting a movie. He was
again, based on the Giants' evaluation of quarterbacks or just talent in general, do you see what I'm saying here?
No, I get it.
Unlikely.
I'm gonna be that optimist. I know I said I don't want.
It happened once this year. It happened once in New York this year, where a guy off the street who showed up and threw for like 500 yards. Then he threw for 119 yards, and now he's back to bagging groceries. He's back at Kurt Warner's old job.
Maybe we can get that magic from Jake Fromm.
So if the Jets can do it, why can't the Giants do it?
It's not going to happen twice.
No.
Well, Daniel Jones will come back. We just need him for one.
Listen,
all right.
But all right, but before we,
I'll make a bet with you. If Jacob Fromm throws for more than 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, I will shave my head and beard off on the show live.
No, I mean, he's not going to, because that's not what he needs to do.
Put it out there for you. Bro, if Mike Glennon threw the ball 44
just
times,
make him sweat a little. Take it.
If Mike Glennon threw the ball 44 times, what do you think the game plan is for Jake? Where you from? I like that with Jared Jones. That's good.
But I will say, I mean, the Chargers defense is terrible against the run. You need, I said it last week.
You probably had the ball off more than 17 times then.
Saquon Barkley.
They ran the ball 17 times against the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
For almost 6 yards per carry, too.
I know, right? It's like, hey, this was kind of working. But again, so you have to ask yourself, what did Joe Judge on the sideline, him and Freddie Kitchens looked at each other like, hey, 6 yards a carry from Booker and Barkley. What do you think?
Mike Glennon.
Yeah, more Glennon. Let's do more Glennon. Let's have Glennon throw the ball. Let's double up on Mike Glennon. That's why I'm saying Joe Judge is an idiot. I'm stunned by this.
Yeah. Granted, Mike Glennon missed a lot of people wide open and decided to throw the double coverage.
It's terrible.
He decided to throw to Evan Ingram in double coverage.
Same reason he's 2-17 in his last 19 starts, like you said. He misses wide open guys. And usually when he throws a completion, it's to the other side.
Those first 2 drives were looking good, and then he threw up that ball in the double coverage right to Xavier Howard, and then after that, just downhill.
It's funny, if you watched Mike Glennon when he played last year for Jacksonville, that's how it went a lot. He'd be like 10 for 10, and the next thing you know, he's like 12 for 27 with 3 interceptions, and you're like, whoa, dude.
He started all drives,
he couldn't miss. And then all of us, dude, it's like once the game gets going, most guys kind of get into a groove. He starts games in grooves. It's weird.
And he loosens up. Imagine. That's terrible.
It's bad.
Mike Glennon.
He's the starting pitcher of QBs. You just need to close it.
Dude, not for nothing. Because, and for anybody who hasn't watched the show before, I jokingly suggested last year I liked the way Mike Glennon threw a football.
It wasn't
better than Justin. I don't
know. I was talking about his throwing motion and just the zip of the ball out of his hand, and then I of course explained he's terrible. He doesn't complete enough passes, and he doesn't throw enough touchdowns. He's a turnover machine. The fact that the Giants are terrible this year, and that Mike Glennon was the starter last week, and that Mike Glennon lasted all of 1 week as the starter.
No,
that's kind of hilarious. No,
he's got
a little funny.
He'd probably be going again if he wasn't.
You brought this upon the New York Football Giants.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
It's not my fault.
It is.
You advocated for him. They were watching the show, and you advocated for him, and this is how we ended up on the team.
Jerry Reese is much more responsible for the debacle that we're living in, as is Dave Gettleman, than I am, and the onus that I brought on with Mike Glennon. They didn't have to go get Mike Glennon. I mean, right? You Colt McCoy, they could have brought him back.
Yeah, but they watched Drawing About the G-Men, and they say, hey, this guy Mike Glennon so much. Let's bring him in. Let's appease the fans.
Let's talk about this game for a minute in all seriousness, because the Chargers' 2 receivers, the top 2 guys there, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, are both COVID positive. So there could be some issues with the Chargers as far as the passing game, although he hit Guyton on a 61 the ball traveled 61.2 yards in the air.
He's a beast.
Herbert to Guyton. So, and Guyton's on my fantasy team. I think I'm gonna throw him in there this week because I got a feeling they're gonna load up on him. But I think Austin Eckler is gonna have a pretty monster game. I love the Giants defense, and I feel bad because they play well, they play their hearts out, and in the end, you're just putting too much on this defense. It's not fair. And this defense is good. It's not great. It's not good enough. Yeah. And so putting the burden, no, it's not. Zay, they're a little short. I mean, Blake Martinez not being there. I like Trey Crowder, but I see multiple times where it looks like Trey Crowder and Ragler are like confused about what's going on. You didn't see that when Blake Martinez was there. So the defense is just not as good as it was before. And that's not their fault. And they're doing the best they can. I understand that. But because of the fact the defense isn't as good as what it would be if Martinez was there, the fact that he constantly does these terrible drives, and they punt, and then it's like, dude, the defense is back out there again, and they're just not great. That you can't keep doing it over and over again, or you're gonna keep losing every single game.
Look, I wasn't going to jump on and say they're terrible or they were a good defense. I wasn't going to jump. I was going to say, a bad defense. They are a good defense. Let me clear myself. They're a good defense. They are a pass rusher away from being a great defense. That's what I really think. Obviously, you get Blake Martinez back, and then you get that pass rusher there, and that defense becomes solidified because I think you have a really good secondary. Obviously, Adoree's having an off year, and you have the inside corner, slot corner, excuse me. He got hurt last week.
Holmes.
Yeah, Holmes. Darnay Holmes. He'll be back next year. He's out for the rest of the year. I believe they put him on injury reserve, so he's gone for the year. He'll be back next year, and I think he was a big part. You saw it when he came on the field. He wasn't playing in the beginning of the year, and as he started to play more, the Giants' defense started to actually pick up and look a lot better. So I think once you get him back, you get your linebackers back, you add a pass rusher, I think that defense could be solid. And I think the hardest part for the Giants right now is the Giants, as ugly as it's been, they're still in a position to get a wild card position. I know it's ugly. They're still 2 out. They're not mathematically out. And I think that's what these guys like Joe Judge and Gettleman are still pushing up the marrow. Like, hey, we're not completely out of it. There's still a chance that we can get on some type of
happens every year.
Role. Huh?
It happens every year.
I agree. It sucks. But this is why I need them to lose this week. I need all hope and doubt to be completely erased out of our minds that we are not going to make the playoffs. We're going to have top picks and start thinking about how you're going to manage your future now while you have time to go into it. Think about how you're going to bring Russell Wilson to New York and solidify that offensive line for him next year because you have the weapons there. And if you're going to give Barkley one more chance, at least give him a chance with a guy who can help him out. And if you can bring in a guy like Russell, who's expressed interest in coming to New York, there's all been reports and rumors going on, all types of things going on today about it. If you can bring him in some type of fashion or form, you can speed up this turnaround, this rebuild process that we thought would take 4 or 5 years, and we can turn this around a lot quicker than we thought. But it's going to take a pass rusher to pair with Aziz, get your defensive back with, Blake Martinez and bring that secondary back and get you that Russell Wilson type of guy. And again, I need the Giants to lose this week. I'm sorry, Jace. I know you're optimistic.
I like Roche a lot too, by the way.
No, yeah.
Roche, man. He's
Aaron Robinson played really good this week.
I wish they'd start again, dude. I'd start letting some of these guys go a little cuckoo. Let them go a little nuts on the outside. I mean, they're good enough. I'd like to see the Giants just really, you know what I mean? Just kind of let them go at it. I like those two guys. I mean, like I said, I think this defense with Blake Martinez and with an offense that could stay on the field sometimes, I think this defense, the rest of the talent of this defense is like good enough where it could have been a playoff contender, like legit. Yeah. That's how good it is. Yeah. It's just
it sucks too because the games where they do have decent time of possession, you see this Giants defense look refreshed, and it looks a lot better when they're out there for 35, 40 minutes in the game, and they just can't keep up with that. But there are a lot of good young pieces on this team. Obviously, Ojulari, he set the Giants rookie record this week with 6.5 sacks. He's a bright spot. Roche, who we got out of nowhere off of waivers, he's been a really bright spot. Aaron Robinson.
About that guy if he keeps it up.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Roche. I thought it was Roach. I apologize. I was calling him Roach all this time.
Roche, yeah. But so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bright spots on this team.
Why is Sean suddenly not a bright spot?
What's just going on with this? It's pink filter.
But I will say, Ojulari and Roche, I think, are both like those are the solid corner pieces.
Hold on.
I do think the biggest problem, I mean, like I said, it's running the football. That's how you eat up clock. That's how you control time of possession.
Well, again, so why when they're averaging 6 yards a carry, you're trying to figure out how to get Saquon going? And I know, look, you don't want to beat him to death, but that's why Devontae Booker is there. Yeah. Devontae Booker had 6 carries for 36 yards.
Look what he did against the Raiders. Every time that they're winning a game or they're competing, it's because of the run game. And
inexcusable to have Mike Glennon throwing the ball 44 times. I mean, just inexcusable. And again, I joke, but I mean, again, if they think Jake Fromm's what's he gonna do?
The Daniels don't even throw the ball 44 times. Your starter doesn't even throw the ball 44 times.
That's right. Like, right on. I would be, listen, that's the thing. I would be saying the same thing if Daniel Jones threw the ball 44 times and they scored 9 points. Like, why is Saquon only getting 11 carries? I mean, again, I don't understand. Like, the Giants, and for my whole life, right, you had a running back that would carry the ball, 20, 30 times a game. And then it slowed up into the, your Tiki Barber era. And now you're in the Saquon era. Like the Giants have always been into the stud back thing. We had the Earth, Wind, and Fire, but that was kind of a rarity. But the Giants really have always had a 3-back rotation going back, even back to my day with Maurice Carthon and George Adams and Joe Morris. But I don't understand the identity of this team in that you're throwing the ball 44 times with your backup quarterback. You don't even do that with your starting quarterback. You got Saquon back. He's supposed to be healthy, and we want to see what's going on. Like, do you want this guy long term? And then you don't give him the football. These things don't make any sense to me. And so, Zay, maybe you could explain it now. You said he's an evil genius. So why would he do that?
I honestly couldn't tell you why they would throw.
Well, you said he's an evil genius, so if maybe you could put some context to that, would be great.
I said who was the evil genius?
Wait.
I said it?
Joe Judge, yeah.
I didn't say he was an evil genius. I said if anything,
he's an evil genius to the Giants.
Yeah, I said this. I said he was an evil genius.
Yeah, you said that before when you were on the other side. You were in the lower left-hand corner.
Maybe he's pumping up, to the marriage that the Giants still have a chance.
Yeah,
playoffs. But I never said he was an evil genius. This man is far from a genius.
You did say he was a genius, though. You used the word.
I don't know. Maybe I said that out of sarcasm. I don't remember.
I hope so.
I gotta go back because I remember a couple of weeks ago. I'm telling you guys, I don't think Joe Judge has a feel for football, and I don't think he understands how to coach football. I don't think he understands when you kick a field goal at the end of the game, you're down almost 2 scores, and I understand how to math.
Hilarious! Oh my God!
He took that timeout in the first quarter too, when the time could have just ran out. And what are you doing?
Yeah, he could have just let the time expire.
And clock management have been awful this year.
It's rough.
Let me tell you something. The difference between Joe Judge and Don Mattingly, former Yankee great and Dodgers and Florida manager, because that's a guy who, for some reason, played baseball for like 18 years, and then he became a manager, and he really doesn't know how baseball works for the most part. And he did, because being in the National League, there's the different rules. I'm sure you've seen it there in the match. He doesn't know baseball too good. No. He's Don Mattingly, though. So, he's one of the greatest.
He gets a pass.
One of the greats. Yeah, Joe Judge is an idiot, and who is he? Oh, he was a special teams coordinator 1 year in New England. Oh, sign me up for that great motivating genius.
He was on Bama's coaching staff, too, according to that. So, they get
learn from Saban and Belichick, Joe.
Yeah.
Come on.
You can tell. You can tell he learned from Saban and Belichick. You could totally see it. Dude, listen, this guy's not a motivator. He's not a disciplinarian because they're not disciplined in the slightest still. This team's still sloppy.
Yeah.
It's a sloppy team. So they've scored 22 points since they got rid of the guy who was the problem, that terrible offensive coordinator. He's making them look even dumber now. Jason Garrett somehow made the Giants look dumber than when he was working there.
Yeah. So, maybe Zay's prediction might come right. The Joe Judge gets fired and Jason Garrett takes over.
God, no. Jason Garrett back.
But
God, no. Please don't. That
would be the ultimate Giants move.
It wouldn't
surprise me.
I'd officially start a Jets podcast on this network if that happens. I would start one.
I desperately would love for the Giants to pursue Bill Belichick.
It would never happen. We would love to,
especially with Mac Jones playing the way.
I would give them the other number 1 pick in the draft next year, straight up for Belichick.
The guy to get is Eric Bieniemy. I'm telling you, get him now, get him early before he becomes the heir apparent in Cleveland. In Kansas City, get him now. Bring in Russell Wilson, someone he can work with, someone where he's not locked down on that offense. He's not confined to someone who can't move, and allow him to get. We have a ton of weapons between Tony, between Galladay, Sterling Shepard, all these players. I'm sure you bring in a guy like Eric Bieniemy, he'll find a way to get their ball in their hands.
Again, talent is been the problem in that. I read earlier some ESPN article where like the Giants have had the most starts and the most guys out and the most guys on injured reserve and the most star. I mean, again, they draft guys that are injury prone and then they go out and sign guys that are injury prone. Like what?
But I get that, but also I think a lot of that, as they mentioned it earlier in the season, something has to be up with the Giants training staff. You have 3 wide receivers out with quad injuries this week. That's questionable with quad injuries. Something's going on there. That doesn't happen.
How about 10 years of Sterling Shepard concussions? Like, come on, get the guy a better helmet. I don't know, something.
Get him a bubble. I agree with you. We've said this to me. He gets paid too much to not play as much as he doesn't play. I mentioned this early in the season. Y'all told me he should stay. He hasn't played for us. He plays like 30% of the games for us a year. He's never there for the big games, and when he is there, he has 9 catches for 90 yards with no touchdowns, and the Giants lose by 6 touchdowns. It doesn't make sense to be paying him that much. I get what you're saying, Sean. Yeah, he's not a top-paid receiver in the league, but at the time when he was paid, he was a top-paid slot receiver, and it shouldn't have been that.
Now looking back on that, you're right. I'll give you that one. To be fair, though, the Giants don't play in any big games.
Does everybody agree it would be better for this team to lose out?
Yes, I agree. Completely agree.
And the Bears.
Gives that front office.
Yeah, sure. Because look, I feel like the Lions are going to get hot and win some couple of games before the year's out. They're riding high over there, and they're hungry for W's. Right? I think that's what they want right now, is to win some games, and I feel like they don't feel like they're going to lose too much draft position. Jacksonville is only going to get better. The Texans are terrible. So I'm just saying the battle for that number 1 spot. I think as long as Jake Fromm's man in the helm, I think we're
I don't
definitely
think it
beelining, because I'd like to get one of those edge rushers, to be honest.
For what? We'll get a top pick and pick the wrong person.
No,
I'd rather trade the pick. I'm sorry.
I want it to be a top 5 pick.
I think the Giants are in a perfect spot right now. There's a lot of depth at the top of the draft as far as linemen goes, and I think you can get some solid interior linemen, especially to shore up this O-line. And like we just talked about, Roche and Ojulari, in their college careers, they got better each year. Why can't they do that in the NFL level? So I think that these guys will continue to develop and get better. So I don't necessarily see edge rusher, maybe like an Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau. That's about it.
We still need an elite pass rusher, though.
O-line. One of those picks have to go for Russell Wilson or some
I'll
quarterback.
take Robbie Anderson from Bama, who's got better numbers than Hutchinson, by the way. I'll take him at number 6. That's fine.
Like I said, as long as one of those picks go to get a quarterback, I don't care who we get. I think we need offensive line help before we get edge rush help. I think that's very important offensive line because, again, you have a quarterback. You just lost your starting quarterback to injuries. He missed with a concussion. Now he's got a neck injury. Now you got another quarterback out with a concussion. You need to protect your quarterback. It's become evident. It's become apparent on this team that we cannot protect whoever is back there. And that's why even if you bring in somebody like Russ, who we know can evade people, he's getting older. You're going to have to solidify that offensive line. Chase, I know you don't want to hear it, but I can't see another year Daniel Jones at quarterback. He can't stay healthy. I was a Daniel Jones fan. I was all on board, but I need someone who can stay healthy. Maybe I got spoiled with Eli Manning because he was always there. I never had to look at the injury list for Eli Manning, even when his head was busted open in the Eagles Jets preseason game. I never had to look and know that Eli Manning wasn't playing. He was always playing, and I guess we got accustomed to that. But this can't keep happening with Daniel Jones. If you're going to be the starter for the Giants,
protect him then.
Even when you protect him, I haven't seen enough progression from him.
But he hasn't had the right.
I haven't seen enough from him where I can look at him and say, this guy's going to lead us in the fourth quarter down a touchdown with 2 minutes and win the game. I don't see that in him. I haven't seen that in him at all. And that's one thing Eli Manning was great at, was last-minute drives, end of the game comebacks. He was known for that. We don't.
But how many times has Daniel Jones been in that position? I feel like every week he's played,
he's been behind. He's got a chance to come back from behind.
It's almost finding a way. No, whoever has the last ball, it's always the other team making a field goal at the end or something like that. It's not Daniel Jones get the opportunity. The only time he had that opportunity was his first start in Tampa, and he was able to do it. So
he did it against the Saints this year.
That is true. The Saints as well this year. But all right.
I need a guy again that I can go down there and I could just know he's going to get the job done, right? When I look at it, you can't look away from the screen.
If you're talking about Russell Wilson, like you've been saying, the Giants would be doing the same thing they've been doing, just throwing random money at random free agents or stuff like. It's no different than the Kenny Galladay
wouldn't be doing that.
Bringing in stuff. The Giants. I hate saying this. I'm supposed to be the Giants optimist on the show. The Giants can't compete. They need to rebuild. And I mean, there's no quarterback right now that you can get. So just keep Daniel Jones. Build around him.
I'm telling you a quarterback you can go get. I'm telling you someone you can still get another. You can still get another 5 years out of Russell Wilson. I would say you can still get another 3 to 5 years out of Russell Wilson. 3 probably great years. 2 after that, some years. But then that gives you time to bring in somebody to groom. You need to fix your offensive line. We mentioned that the defense isn't that far off. And offensively, you have a ton of weapons if they can stay healthy. Get someone that can get them the ball. The Giants aren't losing games because they're terribly offensively. They're terrible because they can't get their weapons the ball. Saquon's not getting the ball. Galladay has no touchdowns on the year. He's not getting. Kadarius Toney has no touchdowns. They're not getting their weapons the ball. This is why they're not winning. This is why they're not scoring. Get them somebody who will get them the ball.
They're also not on the field.
Is that more of a Daniel Jones problem or a Joe Judge problem, then?
Saquon's got 2 touchdowns. Generational talent.
It goes down to everybody because, again, when you come out there and you have everyone there, they had a couple weeks where everyone was healthy, where they had enough guys and they still didn't score.
Like 1 week.
They couldn't get Galladay the ball. We can't get him the ball now. He's been playing the last few weeks. He's not getting any. How many touchdowns he had? Again, 0. He has none on the year. I don't have to go there. I don't have to
blame Daniel Jones or Joe Judge for this because we just spent like 40 minutes.
I almost assure you, Russell Wilson would have had a touchdown for Galladay already. Russell Wilson has never had a
answer my question, Zay.
In my opinion, he's never had a premier receiver. And he still finds a way to get it done.
Whose problem is it, Zay? Daniel Jones or Joe Judge's that these guys aren't getting the ball? Whose problem is it?
It comes down to both guys. Daniel Jones still has to deliver the ball. No matter what you say. When the Giants are down in the red zone and he has to throw the ball to the back corner, or whatever the hell they ask him to do, it is his job to get him. He hasn't been making the plays. I don't care who they ask him to throw it to. He hasn't been making the plays. Aaron Rodgers doesn't sit back there and complain about who you ask him to throw the ball to. Aaron Rodgers gets the play and he throws the ball to whoever's open and he scores touchdowns. That's what I want. I want someone who's going to do that. I don't have that with Aaron.
He also has a competent O-line, though.
Yes.
You said this before, too. He doesn't have protection. Like Andrew Thomas can stay. Okay. Everyone else on the O-line,
Russell Wilson does not have protection. Go. He hasn't had it for years. He's found ways to get it done. He's found ways to have his receivers score. He's had Russell Wilson. He doesn't have the top receivers in the league every year, and they still score touchdowns. And he has a terrible line for years.
He's had one of the best receiving duos in the league for the past 3 years now, though. Lockett and DK.
Yeah, but okay, Lockett and DK. But would you rather have Antonio Brown? Would you rather have the guys in Tampa? Or would you rather have the guys in Seattle? That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have these. He has good guys. He doesn't have the top of the top, cream of the crop guys. That's
that's one of the best receiving duos in the league, no doubt. Easily top 5.
Yes, but because of him, not because of them alone. You put them on any other team. I don't think that's happening. I think Russell Wilson makes them a lot better. When you allow Russell to cook, he makes them look a lot better than they are. And that's just what happens a lot of time because he's been doing it before they got there too. He's been in Super Bowls. We've talked. We know who Russell Wilson is. I don't have to pull up his resume for you. Daniel Jones isn't that guy. I'm sorry, he's not going to do it for us.
Listen,
yeah, I'm not saying that.
Make the trade for Russell Wilson. Get your last 3 years out.
That's a lot of draft.
All right. Listen, regardless, hold on, Zay. Regardless, this is something that can't happen right now. This is a conversation we'll continue to have onto the offseason when they can actually make this trade. So let's We're going around in circles. We're just constantly complaining
angry.
about the Giants. Yes, I get it, and we're all right.
Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Yes, let's take a break and let's get into our best bets and fantasy locks. So we'll be right back after this.
So, Jess, why did you become a realtor?
I worked in various customer service jobs, so I wanted something a little bit more rewarding. Becoming a real estate agent, being able to help people find their forever homes or their investment homes, starter homes. It's very exciting, so it's a lot of fun.
Now, you've gotten off to a really good start in your real estate career. What has been the most rewarding part of this for you so far?
Helping people, especially like first-time home buyers, finding their first home. They're so excited. I'm so excited to help them. So it's a nice, rewarding part.
What is it that you think makes you different than other real estate agents?
I think that my various roles in customer service has helped me. So I like to ask a lot of questions and I want to know what I'm doing. So I think that helps a lot because I'm not going to steer people the wrong way. I'm going to make sure they have knowledgeable decisions and help them find the right home.
Last thing I'm going to ask you is, and I know these are words that you live by, but the mantra at CTBB Realty is?
People over paychecks, do the damn thing.
And that's what we do.
Boom. Big shout out to CTBB Realty. If you're in the housing market, make sure you hit them up. Find your forever home, as they say. But now let's get into best bets. And finally, the 0 for 4 streak was broken as my over hit last week. But still, guys, you guys got some explaining to do. That's 4 weeks in a row. All three of you.
This is the NFL. It's not us.
Yeah?
No, this is not the NFL. This is the Vegas screwing with things. I think somebody's doing.
It's more that. You're right. I agree with that.
Hey, it's a tough NFL season, unpredictable. Things happen, you know. Started off 7-2, lost 4 in a row, but
the Jags were spotted 14 points. I shouldn't lose that. You spotted 2 touchdowns. You should
that's
cover.
what you get when you bet in the Jags.
You're in the NFL. You should cover. This is
The Rams might not be good, but they'll beat the crap out of bad teams. That's
look at the Giants. But all right. I'm sticking with what worked for me last week. I'm hitting overs. Life's too short to not bet the over. Root for the points. Raiders at Chiefs. I think the Raiders can get in the end zone a couple times with Josh Jacobs. I know Darren Waller might not play, so that might hurt the over. But I do think Chiefs will easily put up 30. I think so. Looking for like 35 to like 10, maybe 13. That's what I need. 13. So yeah, 35 to 13.
24-23.
I don't know. Yeah, two touchdowns for Josh Jacobs and then 35 points for the Chiefs offense. There we go. I know that's only 49, but still it hits the over. I feel like that's a little. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit.
You're playing with Vegas. It's gonna be 24-23.
Maybe, probably. I don't know. It's gonna suck, but okay.
It's gonna be just that 47. It's gonna
Hey, but at least I got a win last week.
Yeah.
All right, Zay, what you got?
Hope. That's all I got. I'm hoping that the Bills are just becoming the New York team that they're starting to look like, and that the Buccaneers are actually starting to go into full steam. That they seem to be going into. They seem to be headed towards another championship run. So I'm taking the Buccaneers right now, and hopefully that can get me back on a win streak because I don't got much else. The rest of these spreads this week are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, Sean, 8.5 Lions after their first win, going into Mile High.
Yes, sir. Good teams win, great teams cover. The Lions are 8-4 against the spread this year, so got to bet on my Lions, especially after coming off this big win. Obviously, the terrible tragedy that happened in Michigan, I think they're going to rally around that. Dan Campbell is going to rally the troops, and the Broncos. While Mile High is a tough place to play, they're only 3-3 at home this year, so that home field advantage hasn't been great. And I think the Lions, like Joe said earlier, I think they're going to get a little run going here. And even if they do lose, They've been good at covering, and I just don't see the Broncos, especially with the way their offense has been playing. Javonte Williams is really the only real threat, I think, on the offense. So I think this number's a little bit too much. So Lions, let's get it done. Got to get off this losing skid.
Yeah. All right. And we just spent a bunch talking about them. Giants. Yeah, Joe, you got the Giants losing by more than 10.
Yeah, like 27-10, 27-6, something. Pick your how many. Maybe they get into the end zone once, but that's the Chargers are going to score 30 points, and the Giants are not going to score more than 15. So
Justin Herbert's going to throw like 5 interceptions. The Giants will win 13.
I would love that. I hope it happens, and I hope they pick a last. I hope Gano seals it with his 5th field goal of the game. Giants win 15-14. That'll be great. That's the only way the Giants could win this game. But unfortunately, Justin Herbert's going to throw for like 365 yards because they're going to run like 70 plays, and the Giants are going to run like 50 plays.
Who's he throwing this
35 of them are going to be throws from Fromm.
Who's he throwing 375 yards to? They bringing in somebody off the streets?
Yeah, I'm telling you, you'll see. Dude, Guyton's going to have like 200 yards in the air. You'll see.
Again, the Giants will win. Because the Giants will win this, and Joe Judge will keep the optimism of making the playoffs in John Mara's hand ahead. This is what happens.
You said because of Joe, right?
I mean, here we come.
Last time he picked against the Giants was the Eagles.
I know.
They won, and he didn't just pick against them last time. He did the same thing he's doing with the Chargers. He's double dipping because he's got fantasy lock Austin Eckler.
He's gonna be the man. You'll see.
Take him off your fantasy team.
It's gonna be the Austin Eckler game. That's how we're gonna remember this one. Eckler runs.
As long as he does better than Mac Jones.
Him and like Jared Cook are gonna be Herbert's like biggest targets. But I mean,
can we throw the fantasy lock standings up for a second?
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Are we going this on? First off, it wasn't negative. It was 0.5.
It was negative 0.54.
It was not negative. I will show you. I did my research on that one. It wasn't.
The kneel downs hurt you, I think.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
dude.
Sean.
Every kneel down was just geez, that's bad.
Again, I'll be back. I'm not worried. I'm loaded up.
This has turned into an intense race.
What is the order that this is in? I'm just curious.
I'm in first.
Best from last week.
Because it looks like I'm in last place, but you got Zay listed in last place. Yeah. Oh, because you're doing it based on last week's results.
Yes.
Thank God. Oh boy. I'm in last place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we noticed. You've been there all year.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago you were in first. Everything's going wild. But I mean, things are heating up, and we got an intense race now.
I was doing my research. That wasn't negative.
It was. I just looked at it. It was negative.
I don't even think that's possible. Unless you throw an interception or fumble, I don't think it's possible for you to have negative.
Well, he only threw the ball 3 times.
That doesn't make you negative.
You don't think shouldn't the quarterback get some points for winning?
That's what I'm saying.
This is a winning bonus. Yeah. Guy took one for the team. Here's like an extra 10 points.
And for the record, I would have never picked Mac Jones had I known what the weather was going into that situation. But because I am in the same state and I enjoyed a 60-degree day at the park that day, I assumed everything upstate was just as peachy. Little did I know they were snowing. So,
I mean, it's Canada
forecast day.
Geography, buddy.
Up there.
Well, sorry, Sean. I was at the park. I was enjoying a 60-degree day.
All right. I mean, I can tell you it won't be 60 degrees.
It was
in Lambeau Field against the Bears. Zay, you got Devontae Adams.
This is where I charge up and take back the lead. He'll go for like 30 this week. And, Aaron Rodgers will run to the end zone, talk about how he owns the Bears again. And this is how I'll take the lead again. So, I mean, I'll only be down in bets, but, that's all right because I can't bet in New York, so it's okay. I suck. So, got to win something.
All right. And I love that you brought up Aaron Rodgers going into the end zone saying he loves the Bears. Because, I mean, he owns the Bears because I got Aaron Rodgers getting it done. He did it in Chicago, went up yelling. I mean, now they're coming to his home turf. Aaron Rodgers going to light it up against Devontae Adams.
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about that one. Like, it's going to catch up to him. And now that you're on it, I definitely think that.
I could care less as long as somebody gets Devontae Adams the ball.
This is going to be one of those games where Aaron Rodgers goes 15 for 35 with 3 interceptions and like 160 yards in the air. This is bad news, Jace.
Put it on your pinky toe.
Joe, don't get sour because you're in last place. Come on. You know that's a good pick.
Supposed to bring you down with him. Supposed to bring you down with him. That's all. Don't worry about it.
You know what's funny? Sunday, when you guys are watching the Giants lose along with me, I'm going to be home and I'm going to be like, another touchdown for Eckler. I'm going to be so excited every time Eckler cracks the end zone. I hate to say it. It's going to make watching the Giants, again, I'm going to be like miserable, but like, right. First place is back within my grasp.
All right. I mean, I don't think so, but.
I can't. You know, he said that the same at the end of the Eagles when he picked the Eagles. You know, to win. And
I hated doing it, but this is what the Giants have become.
I'll let you know. There was no better feeling than watching Rager drop the ball at the 1 yard line and knowing you lost that bet, Joe. There was no better feeling. There was just no better feeling. Knowing that he could have won the game and everything, been the hero. There was no better feeling.
I hate to admit this, but when he fumbled that ball, I was like, no! I did do that. And then I thought about it, and I was like, that's great.
That's terrible. No, I mean, it's always worse when you have money on the line, right? It's always worse.
It's a real, it's a lot of emotions, conflicting emotions, you know?
Yeah.
Who Sean got for fantasy losses? Now I'm rooting for him to get nothing.
He's got going up against your Jets, Zay, Alvin Kamara. Sticking with the running back.
Coming off an injury, Mark Ingram is on the COVID list, and the Jets are terrible against the run. I just wanted to point out, ever since I've been going with the running backs, I was down 60 points to Zay, and I was down 50 points to Joe and Jace. The running backs, they try to tell you that the value of a running back is being diminished now. Not to me, all right? I'm sticking with my running backs. I'm going Alvin Kamara. I've gone back into this race after I thought I was completely out of it just due to running back. So AK-41, let's do it. The Jets' run defense is awful, and I think that they're going to feed them the ball a lot. And I don't think they're going to want to pass the ball a lot after seeing what Taysom Hill did against the Cowboys. So give them the ball early and often. And so I think I'm just going to run away with this fantasy locks. These running backs just got to keep riding the hot streak. So
he pulls a hamstring.
Nope, not gonna happen.
I'm sorry. It's only because Sean pointed out I had Mac Jones Monday right after the game. He literally couldn't just wait. He couldn't even get 24 hours. He had to point out. Glad I didn't have Mac Jones. Thanks, Sean.
I was coming off a rough bet. I had to bring someone down with me. I had Damian Harris and Josh Allen to both run for 40 yards, and Damian Harris obviously ran for 100 plus. Josh Allen ran for 39. 100. So
yeah,
I was hurt. I needed to bring someone down with me.
It was a rough night. Yeah, it was a rough night.
That's rough, dude. I said the Ravens freaking screwed up my parlay with. They should just kick the field goal and gone to overtime, and just won.
Oh yeah, the Ravens killing the parlay, idiots.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of them.
In their defense, that should have been a touchdown. He had that damn catch. I don't know how he dropped that ball. That should have been a touchdown, a walk-in touchdown. I don't care how rushed that throw was. It hit you in your hands. You got to catch it. You're a receiver in the NFL. I'm sorry.
Yeah, unless you're on the Giants, in which case you go to the Pro Bowl. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Evan Ingram, he played well Sunday.
He did.
Yes. Yeah, he had a 15-yard catch. That was one of those big plays that Joe Judge saw and confused that with a good game.
I think that's exactly who Joe Judge was talking about.
Saquon had a 23-yard run. Galladay had a 20-yard catch. And Ingram, it was either 15 or 17. Oh, Sting was 17, and then Farrow had a 15-yarder. Those were the four things he saw and thought after the game, like, loved what I saw out there. I would have been like, dude, other than those four things, was there any other things that you saw, Coach Judge?
In his defense, we all loved it. I kind of loved watching Barkley make that run. I don't think it made me change my opinion on the Giants, but I love to see a good run every now and then. I thought they were like elite.
Brought back some good memories.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, it was nice. I love to see it. I don't think it was game changing or career or season changing for the Giants the way he saw it.
Yeah, if you love to see it, then keep giving him the ball. But I mean,
why would you do that? He's going to get hurt again.
I mean, just ride the train till the wheels fall off, right? Let's go.
We'll play flag football. Well, the Giants do a flag football league.
Hey, I mean, this is last year as a Giant anyway. Let's probably.
No, they gave him the 5th-year option. He's calling back.
But I mean,
they'll franchise him.
Yeah, give him the tag. But all right, that's gonna do it for John about the G-Men today. Man, great, lovely little therapy session about the Giants. Like I always like to say, this is we should change the name instead of Giants. John about the G-Men to Giants Anonymous. Just all Giants fans crying and bitching and moaning about how
therapy for the G-Men. Therapy for the G-Men?
You don't know this, but in the 70s, they used to wear bags, paper bags, over their heads.
I'm a Mets, Giants, and Knicks fan. I know what paper bags over fans' hands look like.
Of course you do. Yeah, I'm ready to bring the bags back. Is what I'm saying. This franchise. It's killing me.
It wouldn't work for them. You see how they get, they're booing me. I don't like when they boo. We're in a soft generation. The bags wouldn't bother them. They'll just turn their helmets around. The coach will just look that way. Don't look at the fans. Look that way. You guys are playing great.
That's why I like when John Mara, when they booed him, he was like, well, they have a right to boo. I'd boo too. They're booing you dumbass. You, literally you, not that, you, because you made it happen. Yeah. Another idiot, delusional fool.
He's the real problem.
Oh, that guy cracks me up, dude. Do you see when he kicked the chair over when they lost?
No, kicked the garbage can.
Whatever it was.
No, the garbage can.
He was like, what do human beings do to show emotion? Nah, angry. Kick the garbage can. Did everybody get that on video?
For the record, this year since the maggots and the ketchup incident, the Giants' year has been down the drain. I think that was all we needed to see. After the preseason and then the maggots and the ketchup game 1, we should have known we'd be sitting here week 14 with another terrible season.
Yeah. We're sitting
or just knowing that we're Giants fans.
Well, see, one of us was kind of trying to tell you guys this for a while, and you didn't want to.
Because you know what? Because screw you in the NFL for adding another game of misery to our season. So that's why I'm trying to be optimistic.
I agree with that. When they added another game, I thought this is another game for the Giants to find a way to lose in some creative fashion. Week.
The game they added was the Dolphins.
They added a game. They lost it last week.
Yeah.
Now back to our regular schedules program. Back to the regularly scheduled program.
But yeah, we're here. We've been here all 14 weeks talking. We'll be here next week. Be here the week after that. Then the week after that, and then the week after that, and then we get a break because we get to talk about the playoffs and not the Giants. So that should be fun.
Thank God.
But so that should be fun. We're all looking forward to that. But for myself, Big Jace, Joe Aguirre, King Zay, and Sean Scanlon, that's going to do it for John about the G-Men. We'll see you next week for more Giants football fan therapy. And enjoy the games this week. And we'll see you next week.
Or not.
The Giants are running New York like the Times as Danny is dropping all sorts of dimes. Saquon's thighs are ruining defenses' lives and Leonard Williams making opposing QBs feel him. Receivers think it's scary to line up across James Bradbury, and the Giants have a bright future led by Coach Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Tune in to Drawing About the G-Men every Wednesday at 6, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Meat, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Burn, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.